Okay, hello. Love it or hate it, Doom Cycle has some really good rewards. Like there's a fully formed Titan crystal at the end there. So this is my guide to literally never lose a run of Shatter, which I haven't yet. So I started with Torch, and I used him until I finished off the story mode. And what I did basically was I rushed the Nova Flame Mastery under his ability section, which allowed him to throw his special attack just all the time. And of course I maxed that out. And then I went actually to Invisible Woman's Regeneration Mastery under her Teamwork section, which effectively gives you a 15% chance to heal 300 HP after every time you throw a special. And that's 10% of your max health, which is really nice, especially because Torch throws his special like once every 10 seconds. And this build got me through the story mode in my first couple Shatter runs, as I built the rest of the 4. For Torch, you can also dip into Sapping Heat to increase the amount of damage that you heal back that you deal to them, because it's just lifesteal. And then also he has a handful of stat masteries that decrease the speed that takes him to hit the enemies again, which is just really nice because the burn does a lot of damage. For the other 4, for Susan, I started by maxing her Group Evasion Teamwork Mastery. It's a flat 15% evade buff, and then there's also her Evasion Mastery in her stats section, which is another flat 15%, and that one's, of course, just personal to her rather than the 15% buff to everyone else, which is why we start with Group Evasion, because we're going to be using Torch while we rank up Susan, because she's not really going to be able to survive in Shatter as well as he is. After we finish the Evasion Masteries, we are going to max the Precision Mastery, which is unimportant in itself, but it unlocks Lucky Dodge in her stats section so that we can gain 1 power-up point on every successful evade, which again happens 30% of the time without power-ups. Once we've done that, we're going to Torch's Teamwork page to unlock Lucky Flare, which increases the uncommon and rare power-up appearance by 10% to capitalize on Lucky Dodge, because you're going to have a lot of power-ups if you do this. What I like to do with my Susan is to start a Shatter run with her, so that she can get a bunch of evades and rack up a bunch of power-up points, and then I'll swap to Torch or whoever I want, and then I'll have a bunch of power-up points that I can use on the more commonly spawning uncommon and rare items, or power-ups, that is. After we got Lucky Flare from Torch, we're going to go back to Susan to unlock her Force Shield, which is her special attack, I believe, and then Confusion and Invisibility. These special attacks, alongside Sue's natural 30% evade chance, make her really, really hard to hit, because every single one of these special attacks give her a buff that either makes her evade, block, or invisible. Your Shatter runs will rely a little bit more on luck with rare power-ups to deal damage if you're just going straight with Susan, because she does lack a bit of damage. But again, she's very survivable, so it will work. It'll just be a little slow. And again, you'll be regenerating every single time she throws her Force Shield special attack, because that will proc her Teamwork ability that regenerates 300 health, which is a very, very large amount. For Reed, you're going to rush Susan's Mass Stun Mastery on her Teamwork tree. This is going to take a while because there's like 3 masteries ahead of it, and then each point of 2 in Susan's Mass Stun Mastery does cost like 10 mastery points, so don't expect to be using Reed anytime soon. But essentially the whole game plan with this build for Reed is attacking a lot for him to keep stuns up, because he has a lot of masteries that allow you to re-stun the enemies, and it's effective. Like, they can only hit you like once or twice in an entire fight sometimes. Once we've rushed Susan's mass stun, then we're going to get Reed's shock mastery, which is in his stats tab, and after that his destabilize mastery. Both of these are going to allow you to stun the enemy when you crit them with a 25% chance, and destabilize makes you crit them more if they're stunned. After that, we're going to max rapid charge from Reed's stats tab and agility training from his teamwork tab to attack faster while they're stunned to keep them stun locked. Finally, we're going to unlock the portal and stasis field special attacks to stun the enemies even more to work with Susan's mass stun mastery. The careful study special attack, however, is unnecessary since it doesn't deal damage and therefore it will not stun the enemy. For Ben, or, the Thing, I promise I'm not going to do a "so here's the thing" joke. The plan for Ben is actually really straightforward. We're just going to rush the Spirit Breaker mastery to rank 3 in his ability tab, and then we're going to unlock all of his basic attack ability things, which is the middle tree, his medium, heavy, dash, and combo abilities, and that's because his special attack is just kind of mediocre, and he only has one, unlike Reed, and unlike Torch, it does not charge very fast. And all of that is going to take a lot of mastery points, but his rock stacks make his damage scale really well with Spirit Breaker, and as I said, his special attack is just kind of mediocre. This build is straightforward but effective for Ben, and he's unsurprisingly very tanky and doesn't really need to set up anything else, unlike someone like Reed, for example.